If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson drives for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Simply the Law. I'm Keith Casebolt, my dear friend Gary C. Johnson.
Here we are, folks. Another week. Maybe for a few of us, or you, another dollar. How you guys doing, gals? Thank you for letting us hang out with you. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, or this evening, insurance. What? A different type of insurance, though. Totally different type than what we normally talk about, okay? I think you might find it interesting a little bit. I hope so. Some of you may have fallen into the trap that I'm going to be talking to you about. Hopefully you haven't. And hopefully when I give you the information, you never will fall into the trap, okay? Because it's important. No criticizing, condemning, or complaining, right? Every time someone did something for you at a grocery store or anywhere where they were working, you looked over at them and said, thank you for being here doing your job, or thank you for working, right? Every one of you did it. If you didn't, shame on you. Because we need those people, and we need them so bad.
I think I finally figured something out. You gave us these rules, the no condemning, criticizing, complaining, the 4 agreements and everything. And man, is it tough to do. And when I come in, we meet on our weekly radio show, and I see you smile when I tell you, Gary, I'm struggling, and you say, well, you're only human. It is a difficult thing to keep those 4 agreements and not to criticize, condemn, or complain, and to be thankful and appreciative of the people around you. It takes work.
It's not your nature. I'm asking you to go against human nature, basically. I'm asking you to do things that would make you happy, which is against human nature, right? I'm asking you to look around and say, what a glorious world this is. How wonderful it is to have the gift of life. How wonderful it is to have all these people out here working and doing the things they do so that I can have the quality of life I have. How to understand and appreciate living and the fact that other people are living and being part of that. It's not natural because greed kicks in, envy kicks in, all of those things that we have to fight every day, they kick in. And when the good Lord put them in us, we have a time to control. It's hard to control them. And all I'm saying to my friends that's watching this program is you can control those things. And you can literally get the bounty of a wonderful life, of contentment and peace and happiness, if you learn to not criticize, condemn, and complain. Try to the best of your ability to be impeccable with the Word. Don't make assumptions, because you're always wrong when you make assumptions. Don't take anything personal. It's not personal to you when someone does something. They don't set out to say, I'm going to mess over this person. That's as rare as a hen's tooth. You just happen to be the one that was there. So don't take it personal. If some insurance company don't pay you the money you're supposed to be getting, don't take it personal. That's just business. It's not personal. So don't take it personal and feel bad about it. They feel like the world's out to get you. And then when you understand and can realize that all I have to do in this life is the best I can do. I don't have to do the best Keith can do. I don't have Keith's voice, but I've got what little I've got, and it's okay. I get by. That's just the way it is. Don't worry about being more and do more than what you can do, because what you can do is okay. It's plenty.
Hey,
It's exactly what the good Lord meant for you to have to do.
I'll trade you the voice for your intelligence. If you want to do a little swapping here after the show, I'll give you the voice to get your intelligence.
Nope, ain't gonna trade.
I didn't think you would.
Even though Keith is very smart. But I hope you understand what I'm saying about this life. Yes, it is hard, Keith. It is hard to do those things. But the more you do them, the easier it becomes, and the more fulfilled you become as a person. And you can be happy. I promise you, my friends, you can be happy.
You know, Gary, another thing that's happened, and maybe our friends have experienced this too, but even though I fail all the time miserably keeping them, the one or two times that I do succeed at not criticizing or condemning or complaining, you're right. I get proud of myself. There's times I'll even call you on the phone and go, hey, listen, this situation happened, and I handled it right. I didn't criticize. I didn't complain. I did the right thing. It makes you feel good.
It didn't just make you feel good. You were better off because of it.
I was happier.
And
yes,
the results of dealing with those people were better.
100%. And the 24-hour rule. Listen, you didn't even say that. But now, my Olivia at the office, she is sold on the 24-hour rule. Whatever email comes in or whatever call comes in, she will come into the office and say, you can't answer that until tomorrow. Anything that comes up, you can't answer that till tomorrow, because she is sold on the 24-hour rule. It is the best thing I think you've ever told us.
24-hour rule. If emotion is involved, if someone says something to you that you want to react to, don't do it. Wait 24 hours. You see all these people doing all this tweeting, that back and forth. Ridiculous. If every one of them would wait 24 hours, they wouldn't do that. They'd have more sense than to do it.
How many times have we seen in the news or on the stars who have sent out a tweet, sent out a text, they've reacted to something only to have to recall it and then apologize? I mean, we've seen it a dozen times, the cancellation of the Roseanne show, everything, because somebody quickly responded and said something that turned out to be horrible that they probably would have never said had they given themselves 24 hours to think about it.
So use the 24-hour rule, and if you're going to tweet back to someone something, then there's any emotion at all, wait 24 hours. If you're going to respond to an email, and there's any emotion at all, and you say, oh, I'm going to show them, wait 24 hours. I promise you, I absolutely guarantee you that your response will be 100% different 24 hours later.
Gary, I got to tell you, the other day I was talking with somebody that was upset with somebody, and they said, I want you to know I gave them a piece of my mind. And I smiled and said, how'd that work for you? Because I knew it didn't work out good, and it didn't, and that's what you've tried to tell us. It was not a good result.
I'm not giving you things that are easy to do, folks, but I am giving you things that can make you happy and can make you content and keep you that way. That's what I'm giving you. It took me years to learn it. It didn't much of magic, Gary happened to know this stuff. I did it by making mistakes. About 30 years of mistakes, and I finally figured out you don't do things that way. You do them. In the end, we all end up in the boxes together. In the end. So why complicate life in the meantime? Keep it simple. Simple, simple, simple. And it will be amazing how wonderful you feel. let's take a break. We're going to come right back, and I'm going to go to the computer and talk to you about some stuff.
You know, what he was talking about is, I think, one of his greatest quotes that he ever told me, that our lives are like a game of chess. When the game is over, the king and the pawn go in the same box, and we're all on the same playing field. Stay with us. Gary C. Johnson and Simply the Law, coming back after this.
People are asking, what is judo law? Judo is a martial art that uses the opponent's strength to defeat them by not opposing it directly. Gary C. Johnson created a method of practicing law based upon that principle. It worked so well, he named it judo law. To see the results, go to GaryCJohnson.com. To have Gary and his team of judo lawyers go to work for you, dial pound HURT. This is an advertisement.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. I like how you ended that first segment. The things that you're giving us are not easy to do, but Gary, anything that is worthwhile in life and brings you happiness, it's probably going to be pretty tough, but it's worth it.
It's easy to say, I want to be happy. The question is, will you work toward being happy? That's the difference. But let's go to the computer. There's our new Lexington office. I just want to bring it to your folks' attention again in case you happen to be in Lexington and get run over or something. We're there in Lexington now. I've got 4 attorneys in the office. There's a number. Or you can reach us by just calling our local number here in Eastern Kentucky, which is where you probably will find me. Our website's GaryCJohnson.com. In general, please make sure you have underinsurance that protects you and your family. Arbitration. Every program, I know you guys are sick of hearing this. Don't sign those agreements. Okay, I happen to think of a few little rules to live by and stuck them in here, if it's okay with everybody. Get all your agreements in writing. What you are told means nothing unless it's in writing. If you don't understand something, don't sign it. If you can never understand, find an attorney. Maybe he can. If you do sign, keep a copy. If there's a dispute, document your position in writing. Keep copies. Record your conversations if possible, if you need to, and it's a business transaction that's happening. Make notes if unable to record.
Now, can I comment on those before we move on?
Mm-hmm.
You've talked about going into a deposition and trying to recall your experiences with a doctor or your health charts and all of that. Just this week, I'm changing out a computer that you and I do the radio show on, and we've got a system on there called Adobe that has a password. Now, I got that 5 years ago, and you've said, what can you remember 5 years ago? I don't know what the password is. The lady in the office doesn't know what the password is. The guy that installed it 5 years ago doesn't know what the password is. We've called everybody, and out of 7 or 8 people, none of us can remember what we put into that. And when that happened, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, this is what Gary's been talking about. Something so simple that I use on a daily basis. None of us know what the lousy password is, and we're going to have to reset it. But if I'm forgetting that, how am I forgetting conversations, all the stuff you just said to put into writing? We're not going to be able to do that unless we follow your rules.
I think most of our brains has a delete button. If you don't use information, I think your brain deletes it. And it's really hard to remember things.
So much
especially
like,
if they happened a few years ago.
Gary, much like your cell phone when it says storage is full, that's what you're saying happens to our brains? It gets full and says, I got to push some of this out?
I think the brain would hold it all if you used it all the time. It's when you don't use it, I think that the brain just discards it. But now that's me. This probably could be retrieved with hypnosis or something like that. Probably put in a trash can is probably where he put it, rather than totally discard it.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard to remember. And that's why you document. And that's why you keep it in writing. And that's why you put it, you can even put it on your phone anymore, this stuff. But whatever it is, don't get one of these little watches that aggravate you all the time. You know what it does to you? You know what this thing does to me? It says, stand up. And I don't want to stand up, and it'll say, you can, I know you can, stand up.
So you're not getting a call, you're just getting reminders of what you're supposed to do.
It's time to move. When you got a watch that's smarter than you are, I don't know what you do, folks. But it's trying to help me out, and I know it's not being mean to me. But those of you who got these watches know what I'm talking about. They give you these little circles that you're supposed to complete every day. 10 o'clock at night, it'll say, you can still do it, you can still.
So you've got your life coach there on the wrist, huh?
Yeah, it's a life coach built in.
Yeah.
Let's go to the computer. The insurance companies I was wanting to talk to you about, the policies, was disability and life insurance policies for loans, okay? And this is why I'm going to talk to my friends about this. They're usually associated with financing of a home, a car, side-by-sides, whatever. They're sold through a bank, finance company, car dealer, whoever. Now, doesn't that sound wonderful? You're going to get you a disability policy or life insurance in case something happens to you before the loan's paid off. It'll kick in, pay for it, right? That's what you're told. Isn't that wonderful? Now, the people that sell this to you, they get a commission. So they're going to want you to buy it. The premium, then they put it in your finance charges so you won't even know you're paying it. It's just there, part of the...
Pretty handy.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, it makes it easy, and you're covered if something happens.
And they promise to make payments on your loan if you're disabled or you die. What a deal, right?
Good for the family that's left. Yeah.
Well, let's take a break. We'll come right back, and I'm going to tell you about this deal.
Uh-oh. Anytime he says he's going to tell us about it, that makes me think that all of a sudden this deal may be too good to be true. Stay with us. We'll find out. Gary C. Johnson and Simply the Law, right after this.
Eastern Kentucky, southern West Virginia, and southwest Virginia. It can be a tough territory to reach when it comes to marketing. We can help. We can also help you find your identification. And we have plenty of services to do it and a lot of experience behind us, over 37 years. In fact, we've either booked or sold nearly $70 million in advertising in this region. You need a new voice, a new idea, a new concept? Casebolt Marketing. We're ready to go to work for you today. Our motto is nothing happens until you make it happen. So let's get started today.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. Well, we ended that part of the program with you saying, I'm going to tell you about it, which normally is a red flag that maybe things are not as good as we think.
Well, we'll start off with the fact that the insurance companies sell these, okay? And my friends, by now you've got a pretty good understanding that insurance companies, they collect premiums. It's a sideline to make a payment to somebody. That's just a nuisance, okay? Now let's talk about these policies and what the real problem is with them. Let's go back to the computer. Guess what? The bank, the finance company, or the car dealer, whoever sells it to you, they assume no responsibility for it. None, zero. You can't go back to them if you don't get paid. You're dealing with experts at not paying claims. That's what they do, and they are experts at it. Now what I mean, and here's the tricks they use. Prior medical conditions. Ooh, they always get them on that. Incomplete applications that you didn't fill out. You don't even fill applications out yourself. The people that you're buying it from fill them out, and they leave stuff out. They can use that to not pay you.
Uh-oh.
Your work history. For some reason, that's important. What's the work history got to do with you buying a disability policy? These are tricks they use. If you don't disclose all of this, they don't have to pay. Now, on the prior medical conditions, what do they say? Within the past 3 years, have you been unable to work for more than 15 consecutive days for medical reasons? Within the past few years, have you been diagnosed or treated for a condition, disease, or disorder of the joints, neck, back, or knees, or an emotional, mental disorder? Just about everybody has been to a doctor within the last 3 years where they've said something about one of their joints, their neck, or their back, or knees. Maybe it's just a minor thing, but it's been there, okay?
Wow.
Now, if you say no, then that policy will never have to pay you because you committed fraud in getting the insurance. Then they ask you, within the past 3 years, have you been seen, diagnosed, or treated by a member of the medical profession? If you put no, they can use it to say you used fraud to get the policy. They're going to sell it to you no matter what you put down.
Holy cow, I see a scenario here. Tell me if I'm right. So here people are worried about getting disability insurance or maybe a life insurance policy for their family, and they're nervous about telling all the answers. But you're telling me the insurance company doesn't want you to tell all the answers.
They want you to, that's right. They want you to not give them complete information. The amazing thing about it is, no matter what you put down, they're going to get that premium from you.
So you're sitting here thinking, oh, well, I might not want to say this because they may not cover me or give me the policy, and they're sitting over here going, hot damn, I'm glad they didn't say that because now we don't have to pay.
That's exactly right.
Good
That's
heavens.
the purpose of it. And if a person isn't filling out the application themselves, the people that's selling it to them, it's until them what they'll check or not check. And they're stuck with it because they sign it.
Or they read you off 20 symptoms real fast and say, does any of those apply? And you're sitting there over the phone going, no.
It's not, you don't do this over the phone. You do it at the dealership or whatever.
Okay.
But, again, it's reasons to deny paying the premium. And they're looking for anything on that application, not the premium, but the claim, anything on that application that they can find that you filled out that they can show was a lie, okay? You never intended to lie. You may not remember. Again, these are experts at not paying claims. Let's keep going back to the computer for a minute. Within the past 3 years, have you been prescribed medication or a medical device for the following? Any heart, brain, lung, kidney, or liver disorder? Any cancer or tumor, insulin-dependent diabetes, stroke, alcohol, drug abuse, AIDS. If you answer no to any of these previous questions and you have a medical record anywhere that mentions any of those items, your claim will be denied because of your fraudulent application. It's that simple. And they get just about everybody that way over one of these things.
Off the top of your head,
Basis for denial, the company will order medical records for review. One visit sufficient as basis for denial by company. One visit. We'll also use routine visit with minor complaint as a basis for a denial. Company will deny a claim. They'll refund the premium.
Oh, that's good.
But the premium's not what you need at that point. You need the amount of money.
We're going to take a break. I'm going to go over here and cancel a policy. I'll be right back. Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson when we return.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. I developed a method of representing my clients called Judo Law. Using Judo Law, our team set the record for the largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. No other law firm has even come close. We've had several multi-million-dollar verdicts since then, and guess what? Now, most of our cases settle. If you've been hurt and you need money fast, give us a call, pound hurt.
Welcome back to Simply the Law. I was kind of half joking there when we left, but I really wasn't joking. I just explained to Gary during the break that I added some insurance, life insurance, because it was a cheap policy. I wanted the extra coverage, but now looking back on it through the questionnaire, there's probably 50 things they can use not to pay the life insurance should I pass away, and even though it was a good deal, it's never going to pay off.
Well, it's insurance. You got to be careful. Like I say, like on term, they're going to sell it to you no matter what you say, because they're betting that you're going to live for that period of time before you bought it.
Yeah.
So you got, and it's just like on these disability policies. They're probably going to sell it to you no matter what you put down. But you sure don't want to hide anything so you can get it, because you're not getting it. You're just giving them your money.
So they've got the double safety check. One, you'll probably not get disabled. They'll keep the money. Number two, if you do, they've got a built-in system to try not to pay the claim anyway.
They deny, routinely, they deny the claim. Routinely. When a person tries to collect on one of these policies. We've seen it all the time in the office. People call, I say, nothing I can do about it. What'd you put on that application? I don't know what I put on it. What do you mean? I didn't fill it out. Some other people did. Did you sign it? Yes, I did. Okay. I mean, it happens all the time. So if you're going to spend your money and get an insurance policy, check what information you give them and make sure it's accurate. Because if there's the least little thing that's not accurate, they will use that as a basis for denial, saying you committed fraud, but we'll give you your premium back. But they're not going to give you that $50,000 that you bought, but they'll give you your premium back. And they do it every day, day in and day out. They are experts at it. So my friends, now you're experts, right? So if it goes out there and happens to you, and you're going to buy one of those things, you're going to be careful what you put on that application. Extremely careful.
But even though we're going to be careful, we talked in the beginning of this program, who can remember 5 years ago? You're going to make mistakes.
When in doubt, check you got it.
My friend, thank you so much. I will say this to you, friends. When this guy comes and does this show, after you watch it or you're with him, you just feel like you're more protected and you feel smarter. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. We really do appreciate you, and as always, we look forward to seeing you again next week, right here at the same time.
Thank you for watching Simply the Law, a program created by Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy.